Hello everybody and welcome to my mid-season NFL predictions with, of course, using PowerScore, who is the metric I've created to predict NFL games this season. And for this video in particular, I'm going to be predicting games on my own, and then PowerScore is also going to be predicting the rest of the games just based on whose PowerScore is highest right now. And let's get into this. Starting off with the AFC and the AFC North, I have the Browns in last place at 5-12, then the Bengals, and the Ravens, then the Steelers. I think that the Ravens, with Lamar Jackson coming back, they will go on a little bit of a surge there, and the Steelers, I think, will fall behind a bit. But in the end, with their current records, I think that the Steelers will hold on to first place just barely and win the AFC North. And here's PowerScore's predictions. As you see here, we have each team's listed PowerScore, and so I went game by game and just picked whichever team had the higher PowerScore right now. So with this model, Steelers are still 9-8, but behind them is the Browns, then the Ravens, then the Bengals. Alright, the AFC South. Here we have my predictions with the Titans at 2-15, and then the Jaguars falling back to 9-8. And the Texans going up past the Jaguars at 9-8, and the Colts, of course, being up there at 14-3, winning the division. And PowerScore also has the Colts winning the division at 16-1, of course, with their number one ranked PowerScore, and the Titans in last place at 1-16, with them with the lowest PowerScore right now. And in the middle, we have the Texans at 9-8 and the Jaguars at 11-6, and so they don't have the Texans surging past the Jaguars like I do. Alright, and now we have the AFC East. We have the Jets in last place, then the Dolphins, then the Patriots, and then the Bills. These are my predictions. I think that the Patriots, looking at their actual schedule, looking at the teams they've beaten, the only good team that they've beaten is the Bills, and the other teams haven't really been that good that they've played. So I think that they will get knocked down a few games, and the Bills will pass them in the end, but I still think that the Patriots are a good team. They're good enough to make the playoffs at least. And so let's look at PowerScore's predictions. Similar record for the Bills, but the Patriots are going to win out according to PowerScore with just like a 0.2 difference there, less than that even, between the Bills and the Patriots. So yeah, they have Patriots winning this division. Alright, now the AFC West, my predictions here. I have the Broncos winning the division at 13-4, and then after them the Chiefs at 11-6 and the Chargers at 11-6. I just think that the Chiefs are good enough to continue to win along with the Chargers, but I think that the Broncos are the best team in this division right now, and I think they're gonna win it. So, and now we look at PowerScore. PowerScore has the Chiefs all the way up at 23 points in PowerScore, way past the Chargers and Broncos, and they have them winning the division. Now we move on to the NFC and the NFC North. These are my predictions. I have the Lions all the way up at 13-4, passing the Packers, who I have going 12-4-1, and the Bears at 9-8. The Vikings, I do have them falling all the way to 5-12. I just, looking at their remaining schedule, I think that they have a lot of tough games coming up, you know. They still have 2 games against the Lions, 2 games against the Packers, game against the Bears, game against the Seahawks. It's a little bit of a tougher schedule remaining, so that's why I had them falling so far back. And here's PowerScore's predictions, same exact ordering, same exact record for the Packers, in fact, and the Lions up there at 15-2. They think that they're going to win out with the best PowerScore in the NFC. The Bears up at 10 wins, and they also have the Vikings falling back a little ways. Now we have the NFC South. My predictions, I have the Saints still being in last place, Panthers at 7-10, the Falcons at 8-9, and the Buccaneers winning the division at 11-6. I think that the Buccaneers, let me see here. I think that they will win a lot more games still, but they also have a few tough games against the Bills and the Rams. I think that they might get another couple wins taken away from them just by random teams. Alright, now we have Power Scores predictions, pretty similar, but they have the Buccaneers up at 13-4, winning the division. Yeah. Alright, now we have the NFC East. These are my predictions. I have the Eagles up at 13-4, and then the rest of the division really not being that spectacular. The Giants at 4-13, bringing up the rear. Alright, now let's see. Power Scores predictions. They have the Eagles up at 12-5, pretty similar overall, but they have the Commanders way down at 4-13 with a pretty low power score there. Alright, let's move on to the NFC West, last division, last but not least, certainly. My predictions, they might be a little bit biased, I'll be honest, but I have the Seahawks up at 13-4, Rams at 12-5, 49ers, I think that the injuries are catching up to them now. They're going to go 9-8. And the Cardinals, I have them at 7-10. They've lost a lot of close games. I think that they'll start winning some, but not enough to have a winning record. Now we have Power Scores predictions. They have the Cardinals down at 4-13, despite their slightly negative power score, and they have the 49ers at 10-7, despite their just above 0 power score. I would have expected those to be a little closer to the middle, but they have the Seahawks at 11-6 and the Rams at 13-4, winning the division, which I can totally see this happening actually. But all right, now we have the Power Scores playoff predictions, or just their overall standings. We're gonna go through the Power Scores playoff predictions first, and then we'll go to mine. So here we have the final standings with each playoff team's power score, I should say. And yeah, we have the Colts at the number 1 seed in the AFC and the Lions at the number 1 seed in the NFC. And now we'll see it on the bracket. We have the Patriots and Broncos going up against each other in the wild card round, along with the Chiefs and Jaguars, and then the Steelers and Bills. And then on the NFC side, we have the Buccaneers and Bears, and then the Rams and Seahawks, and the Eagles and Packers. All right, out of this group, we have the Patriots and Chiefs winning, along with the Bills, and then the Buccaneers, Rams, and Eagles winning. And then out of these games, Power Score has the Chiefs over the Patriots, the Colts over the Bills, and then in the NFC side we have the Buccaneers over the Rams, the Lions over the Eagles, and then in the conference championship games we have the Colts over the Chiefs and the Lions over the Buccaneers. So we have Power Scores predicted Super Bowl is the Colts against the Lions, and so now we have this Super Bowl matchup. Power Score has the Colts winning them with the highest power score at the moment. Alright, now we have my final standings. We have the Colts and the Eagles in their respective conference number 1 seeds, and so we'll look at that bracket here. I have also the Broncos and Patriots in the wildcard round coming up here, but with swapped seeds 2 and 7. And then we have the Bills and Chargers, the Steelers and Chiefs, Lions and Bears, Seahawks and Rams, Buccaneers and Packers. Right here, I'm going to go game by game here. I'll show you the results that I have. I think that the Broncos are a better team than the Patriots. I think that the Patriots, they're on their way up, but I don't think that they're going to make it very far in the playoffs this year. They're just a lot of good teams, and I don't think that the Patriots are better than some of them. I have the Broncos winning there, and then the Bills and Chargers. I think that this one would be a very close, high-scoring game. I think that the Bills, though, are a little more experienced in the playoffs. I think that they are a slightly better team right now. And then in the Steelers and Chiefs, I think that the Steelers, they're kind of the definition of pretenders in my opinion. And the Chiefs, I think that they're going to just keep improving. I think that they're just just like as good as any other Chiefs team we've seen in recent memory. And then in the NFC side, I have the Lions beating the Bears. That one's not really that big of a surprise, I think. I think that the Lions are the best team in that division, and the Bears, while they're good, they're on their way up, as well as the Patriots. The Bears, I don't think that they're going to really make much noise in the playoffs if they make it. And then with the Seahawks and Rams, I think that this one would be a close game. I think that the Seahawks are a better team. I think that they're the more complete team, although the Rams are also a very complete team. I think that the Seahawks are able to put up points on anyone. The Rams, they can be kind of caught up with themselves. They can kind of give up points where they could have scored, and it would be a very good defensive game, but I think that the Seahawks would come out of that one. And the Buccaneers and Packers, I chose the Packers here because I think that they have a much better defense than the Buccaneers, but they can still put up points. So I think that it would be like a one-score game still, but I think that the Packers would win. Alright, going on to the divisional round, I would have the Broncos over the Bills here. I would say that it would be another close game. I think that the Broncos, though, they have a better defense, much better defense than the Bills. And I think that they would be able to hold off the Bills' offense for enough to get the win there. And the Chiefs and Colts, it breaks my heart to say this, but I think that the Chiefs would beat the Colts here. I think that the Chiefs, I can't pick against them until they prove to me that they're actually out of it. But yeah, I think that the Chiefs are still very, very, very high up there with contenders, probably around the top even. And then the NFC in the divisional round, I had the Lions over the Seahawks. I think that the Lions are the better team there. They would be able to overwhelm the Seahawks defense, just scoring enough to win there. And then the Packers and Eagles, I would have the Packers winning. I think that the Eagles, they're kind of a shell of their former selves in a way. I think that their offense isn't as good, their defense isn't as good, and I think that the Packers would be able to overwhelm them in both sides of the ball. Now with the conference championship games, I would have the Chiefs over the Broncos. I think that they're just able to pull something out and win there. And then the Lions and Packers, I do think that the Lions are the better team, so obviously I'm going to pick them. And so that gives us the Super Bowl of the Chiefs and Lions. And in that Super Bowl, I would have the Lions winning. I just don't want to predict the Chiefs to win another Super Bowl. And I do think that the Lions are a very good team. I think that they definitely are Super Bowl contenders for sure, and I think that they're going to win in this scenario. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. These are my mid-season predictions. Please subscribe.